Summary: One stranded bus and a pond. The story we are going to read now is an apt example of the difference between seeing and experiencing a place. In our lives, we visit many places around us or far away, in a city or a village, in our country or abroad. But how often do we really experience a place? The author met a man who had come to Alaska on a 2-week package tour. This man had sailed on a cruise ship and flown over the epic coastal mountains. Now he was ready to step into a bus and see the Denali National Park. Yet the author found him discontented with the tour. The man was dissatisfied not because the places that he was seeing were not interesting, but he had already seen them on TV or the tourist videos. After all the hardship in his life, he wanted to experience something different and new. But as it happens in all tour packages, the detailed itinerary had no element of surprise. The brochures explained where he would go and what he would see and for how long. Even while traveling, he was pressed for time. The author shares a similar story from the past, but this time the travelers got lucky. They really experienced a place. One day, the author was on a professional trip driving north from Anchorage and came upon a tour bus that had broken down. The bus stood along the shoulder of the highway with the engine wide open. The author stopped by to interview the stranded travelers as he had to write a story for a newspaper. Out of the group, some had preferred to stay on the bus, while others had ventured out to explore and experience the beauty of nature. The author followed the travelers into the woods and found them sitting like statues on the edge of a pond that was covered with black spruce trees. He got intrigued and tried to speak, but he was not allowed to say a word. The next thing he experienced was mesmerizing. A bird flickered through the limbs of a spruce. There was a bubble in the water at the far edge of the pond, and a beaver surfaced, leaving a dainty V pattern as it swam. Then it dived and disappeared again. Closer by, something moved, but the author couldn't tell what. Maybe a squirrel? The author's jaw dropped in awe. As per the local maps and travel brochures, it was an ordinary pond in the middle of the forest. That was why it was not mentioned in the list of the places of attraction for the travelers. But this was exactly what every traveler had wished to experience, something unusual and different from their regular lives and planned itineraries. This experience opened their eyes. They realized that the pre-programming had dulled their anticipation. The author too got carried away from the busy world and was lost in the rhythms of the pond life. Seeing the beaver, the insects, the clouds, the black-winged bird, and the changing colors of the pond was extraordinary. This experience had no time limit. No barriers of planned brochures, but just pure and untouched nature. The author left the place as he had no words to speak and no questions to ask. He had experienced the place in just a moment.